Yo guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys the best settings in Season 2.5 for Marvel Rivals to have the most amount of FPS and visibility. As someone who's struggled with FPS in Marvel Rivals, I've tried about all of the settings and this is what I've found to be the best. So the first thing for display mode, you should have it at full screen. Some people don't know this, but full screen windowed gives you more input lag than just being in full screen. So I would always recommend whatever game you play, always be playing in full screen. For the resolution, you should always be in 1920 by 1080, especially in a game like Rivals. If you're in Valorant, you could argue the higher resolution, but for Rivals, there's no point in running anything higher than 1920 by 1080, even if your monitor is better. For the anti-aliasing, NVIDIA DLSS seems like the best option from what I've tested. I have that set to performance. If I set it to ultra performance, the resolution gets so bad from a distance that you won't be able to like hit shots. So I wouldn't recommend that unless you really need it. Next up, the AMD frame generation. Definitely keep this off. From what I've tried, it's pretty terrible. I don't even get more frames with it, and it makes my game look terrible. Would not recommend using that. Next up, NVIDIA Reflex low latency. No reason to not have this turned on. Always a good move. Now we're getting into the little bit of a controversial part, limit FPS. So the theory behind it, which is not really a theory, it's actually, you can test it. Say you can get like 130 FPS around in game. If you limit that to about 110, you technically will get less input lag, like input delay, but like your game will look worse, obviously, because you're playing at 110 FPS versus like 130. So it's kind of up to you if you want that trade-off. For me, I'd rather have the more frames than be capped at a certain FPS. To each their own, though. I'm just letting you guys know that is an option. Obviously, if you have a monitor that's over 240 hertz, which is pretty rare, but they are out right now, don't limit your FPS because the game does go over 240 FPS as long as it's not limited. For anyone that didn't know that. And then show FPS I've turned on, network stats I've turned on. Obviously VSync should always be turned off if you guys don't know that. And then for the graphics, graphics quality custom, everything off, and performance for the model detail. The game still looks fine from distance. You can still see everything, and then you also will get good frames. And then a little tip that I have for everyone is to go to accessibility. A lot of people don't do this. You could try it out for yourself and see if you like it, but change the enemy color to yellow. It kind of makes it easier to see them. Give it a shot. It might help you out. Other than that, if you guys have any other advice or any hacks that you found to get more FPS in game, let me know. And yeah, thanks for watching.